Have you ever noticed how easy it is to do things that don't matter, and how strangely difficult it is to do the things that could change your life? You can scroll through your phone for hours without thinking. You can watch videos late into the night. You can delay important work again and again. But the moment you sit down to study, start a project, exercise, or build something meaningful, your brain suddenly resists. You feel tired. You feel distracted. You suddenly remember 10 other things you should be doing. Most people assume this means they lack discipline or motivation. But the truth is simpler than that. Your brain is not designed to seek difficulty. It is designed to conserve energy and avoid discomfort. That's why so many people stay stuck. They rely on motivation, which disappears the moment things become difficult. But the small percentage of people who consistently accomplish hard things use a different strategy. They don't fight their brain, they guide it. One of the most powerful ways to do this is something called the lotus method. The lotus method is based on a simple idea. Just like a lotus flower grows slowly upward through muddy water before reaching the surface, meaningful progress also begins in discomfort. Instead of forcing massive bursts of effort, the lotus method teaches your brain to move step by step through resistance until hard tasks become manageable. And once you understand how it works, you'll realize that your brain can be trained to do difficult things far more easily than you thought. Your brain is built to avoid hard work. Before understanding the lotus method, you must understand why your brain resists difficult tasks in the first place. Your brain evolved to keep you safe and conserve energy. Thousands of years ago, wasting energy could mean starvation or danger. Hunting, traveling, and surviving already required enormous effort, so the brain developed systems that encouraged efficiency. Anything that required unnecessary effort was avoided whenever possible. Even today, that ancient system still controls much of our behavior. Your brain constantly looks for the easiest path available. That's why quick entertainment feels so attractive. Your brain receives instant dopamine from scrolling, watching, and consuming content. Hard work, on the other hand, delays rewards. Studying for weeks before an exam, training for months before seeing physical results, building a skill for years before mastery appears. Your brain sees these activities as costly and uncertain, so it tries to protect you by encouraging procrastination. Understanding this changes everything, because when you realize your brain is simply following ancient programming, you stop blaming yourself and start learning how to work with that system instead of against it. Make the hard things smaller. One of the biggest reasons people avoid difficult tasks is that they make the task feel enormous in their minds. Write a book. Start a business. Learn programming. Get in shape. These goals sound intimidating because they require long-term effort. Your brain looks at the size of the challenge and immediately resists. The lotus method solves this by shrinking the task. Instead of focusing on the entire goal, you focus on the smallest possible step. Not write a book. Just write one paragraph. Not study all night. Just study for 10 minutes. Not exercise for an hour. Just do 5 push-ups. When the task becomes small enough, your brain stops resisting as strongly. And once you begin, something interesting happens. Starting creates momentum. What felt impossible 5 minutes earlier suddenly becomes manageable. The hardest part of any difficult task is not the effort itself. It's starting. And once you begin, the rest becomes much easier. Remove the internal negotiation. Another reason people struggle with hard tasks is constant negotiation with themselves. I'll start in 5 minutes. I'll do it later tonight. I'm not in the right mood. These thoughts create endless delay. The lotus method removes negotiation completely. Instead of asking whether you feel like doing something, you follow a rule. When the time arrives, you start. No debate, no hesitation, no discussion. This may sound simple, but it is extremely powerful. Your brain slowly learns that resistance will not change the outcome. Eventually, the task becomes automatic, just like brushing your teeth or getting dressed in the morning. When an activity becomes routine, your brain stops fighting it, and what once required effort begins to feel normal. Pass through the discomfort window. Most people quit difficult tasks during the first few minutes. That's when resistance feels strongest. Your brain throws distractions at you. You suddenly feel bored. You feel restless. You feel like checking your phone. This is the discomfort window. It is the short period where your brain tries to push you away from effort. But if you stay with the task long enough, something remarkable happens. Your focus begins to increase. Your mind stops wandering. You become absorbed in the work. This is the point where productivity actually begins. Unfortunately, most people never reach it because they quit too early. The lotus method teaches you to expect this resistance and simply move through it. Once the discomfort window passes, the work becomes far easier than it felt in the beginning. Train your brain with micro wins. Your brain learns through reward. Every time you complete a task, even a small one, your brain receives a signal that progress has been made. This is why the Lotus method focuses heavily on micro wins. Instead of chasing massive achievements, you focus on small victories every day. Finish a study session, complete a short workout, write a few paragraphs. Each completed action strengthens your sense of capability. Over time, your brain begins associating effort with progress, and progress feels good. These micro wins slowly reshape your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who procrastinates. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. And identity is one of the strongest drivers of behavior. When you believe you are disciplined, your actions begin to reflect that belief. Design an environment that supports effort. Your environment plays a much bigger role in productivity than most people realize. If distractions surround you, your brain will constantly shift attention away from hard tasks. A buzzing phone, open social media tabs, background noise. All of these compete for your focus. The Lotus method emphasizes designing a space where focus becomes easier. Put your phone in another room. Close unnecessary apps. Create a workspace dedicated only to productive activities. When distractions disappear, your brain has fewer places to escape, and the task in front of you becomes the easiest option available. This simple change can dramatically increase your ability to concentrate. Repeat until your brain adapts. Your brain adapts to whatever behavior you repeat. If you repeatedly procrastinate, procrastination becomes easier. If you repeatedly push through resistance, discipline becomes easier. Every time you complete a difficult task despite discomfort, your brain rewires slightly. The neural pathways associated with focus and persistence become stronger, and over time, the tasks that once felt extremely difficult begin to feel normal. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. One small effort repeated every day creates far greater change than occasional bursts of extreme motivation. The Lotus method relies on steady repetition, small steps, daily effort, gradual improvement. Just like the lotus flower slowly rises through muddy water toward the sunlight, personal growth also happens step by step. Why the Lotus method changes everything. Most productivity advice focuses on motivation, but motivation is temporary. It appears for a few days and disappears when things become difficult. The Lotus method does not rely on motivation. It relies on psychology. By shrinking tasks, removing decisions, pushing through discomfort, and collecting small wins, you gradually retrain your brain. Hard things stop feeling impossible. They start feeling routine. And when difficult work becomes routine, progress becomes unstoppable. Your brain is not your enemy. It is simply wired to seek comfort and avoid unnecessary effort. But once you understand how it works, you can guide it toward growth instead of letting it trap you in procrastination. The Lotus method proves that forcing yourself to do hard things does not require extreme willpower. It requires small steps, consistent action, and the willingness to move through temporary discomfort. Because every difficult thing you accomplish trains your brain to become stronger. And over time, you become the type of person who can face challenges without hesitation. So the next time your brain tells you to delay something important, remember the Lotus method. Start small, remove the decision, push through the discomfort window, collect micro wins, design your environment for focus, repeat the process daily, and slowly, you will notice something powerful happening. The things that once felt impossible will start to feel normal. And that is how ordinary people build extraordinary discipline. If you enjoyed this video and want more content about discipline, productivity, and mastering your mindset, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me what topic you want to see next. Your support helps the channel grow and allows us to keep creating powerful content that helps you train your brain to achieve more than you ever thought possible.